Board was one of the very important sources for that. Your YouTube videos, for the explainers, the MCQ series on different reports, budget, economic surveys, that provided me with very good practice. I also extracted content out of those explainer videos to include in my notes.
ऑलिवबोर्ड का वो मेंटरशिप प्रोग्राम था, उसमें अनिल सर के 2-3 सेशंस हुए थे, तो उन्होंने भी गाइड किया कि क्या अप्रोच रखना चाहिए, अगर मेंस का पेपर के लिए प्रिपेयर करना है तो वो कैसे प्रिपेयर करना है, प्रीलिम्स के लिए अगर अप्रोच रखना है तो वो कैसे रखना है। तो इस तरह से ओवरऑल फिर एग्जीक्यूशन के साथ में हुए।
Hello everyone, welcome to Oliveboard. My name is Varsha Ma'am, and here in this particular session we are going to discuss about, am I clearly audible and visible to everyone here? In this particular video we are going to discuss about key highlights of NABARD Annual Report 2024-25. Okay, so it is our part number 2. Part number 1 we had already discussed, and this part will cover the chapter like from chapter number 5th till chapter number 10. Okay, so we'll make sure कि we'll be able to complete this complete report in today's session, और हम जो important highlights हैं उन्हीं पर ही main focus रखेंगे. Okay, so please let me know if everything is okay to you, the voice and the screen. So here we go. Let's start our today's discussion. ठीक है. So in the last class I told you कि ये जो आपकी NABARD annual report है, इसका data related something was discussed there. Okay, and this is our application. Please install our application so that you can get the PDFs of all the classes here, and there are so many important resources available for better preparation on the application of Oliveboard. And this is a batch for you guys. You can be the part of this batch and start preparations with us. Okay, so these 4 chapters, the most important 4 chapters, we had already covered in the first part of the report, and today we are on the second part of the report. We'll start with the chapter number 5, that is financing rural infrastructure development. Okay, तो NABARD का एक रोल आपके जो रूरल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स हैं उनको फाइनेंस करना, उनको मैनेज करने का भी रहता है. ठीक है, तो NABARD हैव अ वेरी ग्रेट रोल. ओके, NABARD एक सुपरवाइजरी बॉडी है, एज वेल एज इट इज अ रीफाइनेंसिंग, इट हैज अ रीफाइनेंसिंग रोल टू प्ले. ओके, एंड NABARD ऑल्सो like जो भी inclusive development है through sustainable livelihood, NABARD plays a very crucial role in that sense also. Okay, so we have to start our 5th chapter discussion. So here we are going to talk about what is the role of NABARD in financing rural infrastructure developments. So rural infrastructures अगर अच्छे नहीं होंगे तो farmers ने जो अपना एग्रीकल्चर क्रॉप को ग्रो किया है वो कहाँ पे उसको रखेंगे. ऐसा तो नहीं है दैट एग्रीकल्चर कमोडिटीज दे हैड वर्कड इन, और उन्होंने जो भी अपना क्रॉप हार्वेस्ट किया उसको वो टाइम उसी वक्त ही वो मेन मार्केट में उसको सप्लाई कर देते. दे हैव टू स्टोर इट इन द infrastructure, so the warehouses first. Okay, similarly फार्मर्स और जो रूरल एरियाज है दे नीड अ कनेक्टिविटी, कि रूरल एरियाज को अर्बन सिटीज के साथ कनेक्ट करने के लिए रोड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स चाहिए. ठीक है, प्रॉपर इरिगेशन फैसिलिटीज आर नीडेड, अदरवाइज द एग्रीकल्चर क्रॉप विल नॉट सर्वाइव फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम. राइट, देयर इज अ नीड ऑफ द पावर, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कनेक्शंस चाहिए, हेल्थ है, सैनिटेशन है, डिजिटल कनेक्टिविटी है. सो all these are the structures needed for the infrastructural development of the rural areas, and NABARD play a key role in all this. ठीक है, yeah, very good evening A5431 and Shraddha, very good evening to you guys. Okay, so NABARD have a very great role in all these activities as well. Okay, so timely NABARD invest करता है इन सभी projects में, and that's how economic development of a rural part of the country take place. ताकि देखो अगर rural infrastructure भी उतना ही strongly developed होगा, आपके rural and urban connectivity बहुत easy रहेगी, market accessibility बहुत easy रहेगा rural areas का अर्बन एरियाज के साथ, तो जो गैप है, जो एक डेवलपमेंटल गैप है वो रिड्यूस हो जाएगा, बिकॉज ऑल द इम्पोर्टेंट फैसिलिटीज आर अवेलेबल इन द रूरल पार्ट ऑफ द कंट्री एज वेल. तो जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चरल गैप रहता है दैट विल बी रिड्यूस्ड. ओके, सो हाउ NABARD हेल्प इन दिस? इस वजह से इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फैसिलिटीज में NABARD कैसे हेल्प करता है? NABARD प्रोवाइड लो कॉस्ट लोन्स टू स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स एंड द लोकल बॉडीज. ठीक है, अभी अगर आपको अफोर्डेबल प्राइजेस पे फाइनेंशियल हेल्प मिल जाती है, लोन फैसिलिटीज मिल जाती है, वो भी इंस्टीट्यूशन से, फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन से, नॉन फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन की हम बात नहीं कर रहे हैं. सो वट विल यू हैव कि हाँ ट्रांसपेरेंसी है सिस्टम में, रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट यू नो, लोअर रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट पे आपको लोन मिल रहा है, तो आप अपना वर्क जो है ना बड़ा निश्चिंत होकर कर सकते हो. तो NABARD इज हेल्पिंग द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट एंड द लोकल बॉडीज इन प्रोवाइडिंग सच लोन्स. Okay, so NABARD facilitate the creation of durable infrastructure assets and that improve agricultural productivity, enhance connectivity and expand the market access as well. Okay, and as on if we talk about fiscal year 2025, तो अभी तक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स के लिए NABARD जो है 8.9 लाख करोड़ इतना सैंक्शन क्यूमुलेटिवली इतना सैंक्शन कर चुके हैं ना, एंड फ्रॉम दिस 6.8 लाख करोड़ आपका डिस्पर्स भी कर दिया लोन अमाउंट. ठीक है, सो यू कैन सी NABARD मैनेज इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फंड्स फॉर रूरल इंडिया एज ऑन 31 मार्च 2025. तो इतना अमाउंट सैंक्शन अभी अलग अलग प्रोजेक्ट्स के लिए है. अभी कौन कौन से प्रोजेक्ट्स के लिए अमाउंट सैंक्शन हुआ, कौन कौन से प्रोजेक्ट्स में अमाउंट सैंक्शन करता है NABARD इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट के लिए, वो आप यहाँ नेक्स्ट पेज से देखना स्टार्ट करोगे. तो एक NABARD हेल्प करता है रूरल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट फंड रेस करके, जिसको NABARD ने इस्टेब्लिश किया था 1996 में. And what is the main objective of this fund? Okay, and how it helps basically. So this fund is for it's supporting state government and state-owned corporations in development of rural infrastructures के development के लिए. And what comes under this rural infrastructure development fund? So it includes the sectors or the areas of the rural development which are primarily related with irrigation, rural roads, bridges, health, education, and agriculture related infrastructure. So what is the main objective of having this fund which is supporting the rural development is to foster rural resilience को foster करना, inclusive growth and improving the living standards in underserved rural areas. जो भी जो आपके undeserved rural areas है और underprivileged rural areas है, उनको सभी उनका living standards improve करना और जो basic facilities है provide all that basic facilities as well. ठीक है, now moving ahead and what is the trend now, like अभी इसमें रूरल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट फंड में क्या स्टेटस चल रहा है. सो अभी तक बजटरी एलोकेशन 35,000 करोड़ का हुआ है एंड दैट मच अमाउंट इज सैंक्शन फॉर रूरल प्रोजेक्ट स्पैनिंग एग्रीकल्चर एंड रीड सेक्टर, सोशल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, रूरल कनेक्टिविटी एज वेल. ओके, हाँ, रूरल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट या एज अ नेम सजेस्ट बेसिकली रूरल एरियाज के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स को डेवलप करने के लिए जो फंड रिलीज किया जाता है. यस अक्षय, एंड दैट एरियाज related to the rural infrastructures are जैसे irrigation facilities है, health facilities है, community centers है, आपके roads connectivity, they are the rural infrastructures. ठीक है, another the other point then this is geographical distribution. See, जो आपके general states हैं, although they are in a better conditions if they are compared with the northeastern regions and the हिली टेरेंस और जो अंडुलेटिंग ट्रेंड्स है. ठीक है, तो जो फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है अलग अलग रीजन्स में अलग अलग है. इट्स नॉट लाइक ऑल द एरियाज हैव द सेम लेवल ऑफ फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. ठीक है, तो जो अंडर डेवलप्ड और डिफिकल्टी टेरेंस है दे अंडरस्कोर्स रूरल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट फंड्स कमिटमेंट टू इक्विटेबल growth. Okay, so here you can see performance of Rural Infrastructure Development Fund as on 31st March 2025. So funding by sector, कौन कौन से sectors में? Agriculture sector, irrigation sector, rural bridges, rural roads, social sectors, and the number of projects funded. So you can see that's how the projects and how the improvements, addition in the projects occurred. ठीक है, so as compared to the last 2 or 3 years, we are observing the funding in these sectors has increased and so on the developments in these sectors. Okay, now moving further, as I told you, the geographical distribution. So similarly the geographical distribution also varies. So this is a western area ka distribution, northern area ka distribution, central area ka distribution the last 3 years. Okay, and northeast and Sikkim region distribution in the last 3 years and the east region distribution. Okay, so fund allocation and their distribution in the last 3 years, how much fund is sanctioned and how much fund is dispersed. So this is a table to help you to know about this data. Okay, now output and outcomes under Rural Infrastructure Development Fund. So क्या outcome आया when fund was sanctioned under the different projects of rural infrastructure developments, and fund was dispersed also. So what happens? Roads ka development. Okay, you can see the potential roads are developed. Now the rural areas are connected with the urban areas for all the marketing and other operations. Non-recurring employment generation has occurred. Rural bridges, irrigation potential. Okay, so that much irrigation potential. See, when there is a fund disbursement for a specific project, अब उस project पे काम करने के लिए laborers को भी तो वहाँ पे employ किया जाएगा. So indirectly it is also helping in generating employment opportunities in that particular area as well. Okay. Another, what are the new initiatives in fiscal year 2025? So NABARD has expanded the scope of that Rural Infrastructure Development Fund का जो scope है, which was basically supporting flagship schemes such as Jal Jeevan Mission. So Jal Jeevan Mission, the scheme which have an objective of providing the affordable, portable, basically जो drink करने लायक आपका water है to the rural households. And Pradhan Mantri Kusum, which is related with providing the energy facilities and all. Okay, so NABARD's performance was internationally recognized with an Association of Development Financing Institutions in Asia and the Pacific Award for Infrastructure Financing Excellence. So, if there's a doubt like NABARD is working in this sector well or not, so NABARD को recently अभी recognize करने के लिए award भी मिला है. ठीक है, so that shows that NABARD is working very well in this sector. ठीक है, so this was about the Rural Infrastructure Development Fund. Now we are about to talk Rural Infrastructure Promotion Fund. So this is a new. So what is it? Okay, it is also managed by NABARD. And why it is designed Rural Infrastructure Promotion Fund? Promote करने के लिए build capacity and develop innovative rural infrastructure projects across India. ठीक है, innovative projects को develop करने के लिए, build करने के लिए Rural Infrastructure Promotion Fund, and its main emphasis is on identifying scalable good practices, fostering stakeholder engagements. ठीक है, the person is, it may be the people who are living in that areas, it may be the businessmen, so उनके involvement को engage करने के लिए, and as well as encouraging sustainable technology driven solution in rural development. तो Rural Infrastructure Promotion Fund का objective ये है. And if we look at the financial status of it, so as of March 2025, Rural Infrastructure Promotion Fund had sanctioned 82,000 crore with rupees 55.7 crore, 82 crore to with 55.7 crore disbursed, reflecting its role in targeted impactful interventions rather than large scale infrastructure financing. Okay, तो ये हमने दो, अब ये हमारा जो आज का चैप्टर है, द चैप्टर वेयर वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द रोल ऑफ NABARD इन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट. सो वी हैड डिस्कस्ड अबाउट टू टाइप्स ऑफ फंड जो NABARD हैज रिलीज्ड. वन इज अ रूरल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट फंड, सेकंड इज अ रूरल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रमोशन फंड, एंड द थर्ड वन इज अ लॉन्ग टर्म इरिगेशन फंड. ठीक है, सो irrigation facilities are very important to be maintained in the rural areas, specifically because rural areas are primarily depending upon agriculture related activities. Okay, so long term irrigation fund that covers the projects like accelerated irrigation benefit program and command area development and water management program. Okay, so mainly under this state governments को fund issue किया जाता है by providing concessional financing to expedite, ताकि irrigation projects को वो expedite कर सके. ठीक है, so this is the performance of long-term irrigation funds as on 31st March 2025. ठीक है, so as on 31st March 2025 total projects 99 projects with accelerated irrigation जो आपके base projects है और benefit projects है, component completed 21 and projects with CADWM component completed 27. Okay. Now moving further, तो हमारे 3 funds are completed. Now moving on the 4th fund, and it is about micro irrigation fund. ठीक है, so what is the objective of this micro irrigation fund? Basically expand करना micro irrigation systems को. ठीक है, see why the concept of micro irrigation was launched. See, all the crops are not having the same water requirement. सभी crops का water requirement is not same. ठीक है, if we are doing the flood irrigation in all the agricultural crops, so it can cause a harm or the negative impact on all. ठीक है, देखो जितनी आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट है, अगर आपको उससे ज्यादा प्रोवाइड करेंगे किसी भी बेसिक इनपुट को, सो इट्स नॉट ऑलवेज कि आप ग्रो ही करेंगे, यू विल फ्लरिश, नो, यू कैन स्टार्ट शोइंग द डिटरेटिंग ग्रोथ एज वेल. सो दिस माइक्रो इरिगेशन फंड बेसिकली प्रमोट करने के लिए माइक्रो इरिगेशन सिस्टम को, ताकि वाटर यूज एफिशिएंसी प्रैक्टिसेस विल बी फॉलोड इन द एग्रीकल्चर सिस्टम, and it will also supplement the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. And this micro irrigation fund, if we talk about it, it's managed by NABARD and it was administered by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. And under this fund provides concessional loan at a 2% interest subvention. तो ये एक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट रह गया और ये इसकी परफॉर्मेंसेस दैट वी आर नोटिसिंग. सो अंडर दिस वी आर नोटिसिंग दैट दिस प्रोजेक्ट इज शोइंग good growth in Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat region, Haryana, Karnataka, Punjab, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu and Uttarakhand. Okay, now another one, NABARD Infrastructure Development Assistance, that is NIDA. Okay, what the NIDA do? NABARD Infrastructure Development Assistance, it offers long-term flexible financing to state governments, state-owned agencies and eligible entities. ठीक है, as well as offer financing for wide range of infrastructure projects encompassing social and commercial infrastructure, renewable energy, power transmission, drinking water and sanitation, and rural connectivity. See, all these facilities are offered under this NABARD Infrastructure Development Assistance. Okay, so you can see here the cumulative term loan sanctioned by different sectors. So it is for agriculture, storage and marketing, communication, drinking water and sanitation, generation of electricity, irrigation, miscellaneous purposes, sport, rural connectivity, rural education, social infrastructure, transmission, as well as electricity. Okay, so this is all about one segment. Now, after the agriculture crops will be harvested, as I discussed in the beginning of today's session. So after harvesting of the agriculture crop, you need to store them in a specific warehouses, because it's not like that you are harvested the crop and you will transfer to the market and it will sell sold out. No, it need to be stored until or unless the market have a demand of it, then only will supply na. So you need the market post harvest infrastructure. So NABARD also support this post harvest infrastructures. Okay, under this, depending upon the agriculture commodities that you have to store, you need the warehouses, you need the cold storage facilities, you need the processing units and the packaging centers. Why? So that the post-harvest losses will be reduced to a considerable value. Otherwise, the farmer will be in the loss. Now, आप एक specific commodities को produce कर रहे हैं and you are not having the enough space to store it until or unless the market demand will be high, you will be in the loss condition. So NABARD is providing you the financial facilities so that you can construct the specific infrastructure structures where you can store these commodities until or unless the market demand will rise. Okay, so under this we have the warehouse infrastructure fund. So NABARD provide loans to public and private entities ताकि वो storage facilities को establish कर सके, minimum losses हो सके. Till now, 7,196 storage structures are sanctioned, where 6,134 are completed. Kisan Bhandar app and web portal provide farmers and traders easy access to geotagged warehouse data. So farmers get the information, this is a geotagged warehouse, you can store your facility, you can store your commodities there. So all these facilities are provided to the farmer. Okay, and this is all about it. Now another thing. And if we look at the region-wise performance of Warehouse Infrastructure Fund, so you can see that, as I told you, there are different regions and all the funds are allocated as per the requirements of the different regions. Requirements of the different regions and the support the different regions are providing. For example, you had sanctioned that much amount of fund for a specific region, but that region is not having that potential in agriculture. What will the region will do of that fund, which is released for the agriculture purposes primarily? So region specific funds issued किए जाते हैं ताकि specific areas में specific developmental projects को support किया जा सके in a very good manner. Okay. Now moving further, output under Warehouse Infrastructure Fund. So online trading platforms are created. Geotagging of 1.1 lakh storage structures has done. Web-based agri-storage facilities are provided to the farmers, users to locate warehouses. 7,196 storage infrastructures are there, from which 6,134 are completed. 9.9 million metric ton storage capacity is created, integrated value chain system is created, and modern scientific and earthquake resistant warehouses. See, in the northeastern region, which are more prone to earthquakes, the infrastructure facilities or the warehouses are built in such a manner that they will be earthquake resistant. Okay, so that points are also taken care of. Now food processing funds are there. तो जो भी आपके आफ्टर हार्वेस्टिंग फूड प्रोसेसिंग करके structures चाहिए होते food processing work करने के लिए, so for this funds are also released by the NABARD. Okay, so here the infrastructures included, the dry warehouses, silos are there, cold storages are needed, freezer capacities, and industrial processing units. Okay, and that will supports value addition, reduces the losses, and create the rural employment. Okay, there's a very good example in this. एक modern rice mill को establish किया गया at the northeast mega food park, which is in Assam, and that was established with NABARD support. So ये जो आपका rice mill है, that processed 39,000 million tons of paddy annually. And in this rice mill, 25 skilled youth are employed that generate significant recurring employment, benefit over 500 farmers, enhances the income through. So that's how the income is enhanced, like reduced cost and expand market reach domestically. And now the market, now the commodities that they are producing there, that has reached the domestic markets and as well as the international markets. Okay, so NABARD supported food processing infrastructure. So you can see this data, you can read one. Okay. Now another thing, new initiatives during fiscal year 2025 in food processing funds and warehouse infrastructure fund. So state project department facilitated the onboarding of regional. So now the regional rural banks are onboarded and cooperative banks are also onboarded onto the e-Kisan Upaj Nidhi portal. Okay, what this portal do and what this initiative help to do? So that initiative is to ease farmers access to pledge finance and promote awareness about the credit guarantee scheme, NWR pledge financing. Another thing, standard operating procedures, SPF, for both food processing funds and warehouse infrastructure fund were developed so that streamline ho jaye operations or transparency will be improved. And as well as training programs for warehouse personnel on the use of dynamic Kisan Bhandar app, and portal was conducted in Mumbai, Alibag, that is Raigad district, and Lucknow. Okay, so these things are taken. Another infrastructure initiatives may we have the dairy processing and infrastructure development. Okay, so this fund is basically to modernize the milk processing and as well as to support the value addition in the dairy sector. Okay, so under this, NABARD provide the loans to the National Dairy Development Boards and National Cooperative Development Corporations for on-board lending. Okay, under this, an outlay of rupees 29,110 crores till fiscal 2026 is done. Okay, now this is a performance of Dairy Infrastructure Development Fund. And similarly for the fisheries and aquaculture, that sector also needs a boost. So there's a specific fund allocated for fisheries and aquaculture infrastructure development as well. Okay, under this concessional loan are provided by nodal loaning entities at interest rate which is not below 5% per annum, and these are supported by 3% interest subvention and offers a repayment period of up to 12 years. Okay, so these are all the fund facilities which are provided by the NABARD for the development of infrastructure in the rural areas. Okay. Another one is a rural infrastructure assistance to state government. So NABARD is also helping in this rural infrastructure को assist कर रहा है state governments में. ठीक है, and that's how for critical rural infrastructure supporting livelihood and the local economies, right? So you can see all these things. So this is the role of NABARD in the developments of infrastructures in the rural areas, whether it is for the road connectivity, whether it's for the irrigation facilities, for the warehouses, for the livestock sector, for the fishery sectors, and for the different sector, for the dairy sector. So all these facilities are provided by NABARD. So that's all about the fifth chapter. Now moving on the sixth chapter. So sixth chapter is about credit planning and delivery for financial inclusions. Okay. For example, I'm having enough money in my hand, but if I'm not planning the things like how to invest the monies in the different operations, what will happen? I will be of the sort of money. ठीक है, मेरे पास जितना पैसा है अगर मैं उसको प्लान करके नहीं इन्वेस्ट करूंगी तो क्या होगा कि आई नॉट बी एबल टू डू ऑल द वर्क्स ऑन टाइम और मेरा सारा पैसा भी कहीं पे लग जाएगा. ठीक है, सो NABARD हेल्प्स इन दैट credit planning and delivery for financial inclusion. So what the NABARD do? Refinance policy and suite of credit products have contributed significantly to enhance credit uptake, particularly in the agriculture sector, driving growth in food grains and horticulture production. So NABARD की जो refinance policy है, NABARD have a great role in refinancing. ठीक है, अभी जो regional rural banks है, फार्मर्स विल अप्रोच देम, या फिर जो कॉर्पोरेटिव बैंक्स हैं, जो आपके डिस्ट्रिक्ट सेंट्रल कॉर्पोरेटिव बैंक्स हैं या फिर आपके स्टेट कॉर्पोरेटिव बैंक्स हैं, द फार्मर्स हैव एन एक्सेस ऑफ दीज आल्सो. जो आपके प्राइमरी agriculture cooperative societies, farmers have an access of these areas only. So if they will not have the proper credit available for the farmers, so farmers will be in the lower end ना, तो farmers के पास वो facilities available नहीं है, तो वो कैसे food grain and horticulture production को boost करने में अपना role play करेंगे. तो NABARD having a role of refinancing policy है. To advance development through credit, NABARD ने 3-pronged approach has followed. One is it plays a pivotal role in credit planning and monitoring. All the credit is planned by the NABARD and monitored by the NABARD in a very good manner. And it ensures last mile credit delivery through refinance and direct finance products. It depends financial inclusion to stimulate ताकि rural credit demand जो है ना वो बढ़ी रहे. ठीक है. That see हमारे पास हमेशा बैकलॉग में कोई फाइनेंशियल चीजें अवेलेबल होती है. विद दैट वी हैव ऑलवेज अ कॉन्फिडेंस दैट समथिंग इज देयर दैट विल हेल्प अस, दैट विल help us to protect us from the dangerous situation. So these are the facilities that NABARD is providing. ठीक है, तो NABARD have a great refinance policies and that works, that deepens the financial inclusions to stimulate the rural credit demands. Okay, now credit planning. So what comes under the credit planning? So NABARD core mission is to four. Main तो NABARD is a national bank for agriculture and rural development. Its main objective is to foster rural development. How? By improving access to credit. Farmers को access हो. I'm sorry. So NABARD have a great role. ठीक है, NABARD transparency in the credit dispersal is doing by improving the access to credit, but especially targeting agriculture and rural sectors, which are very important. If the agriculture sector and the rural sector will be properly developed, then we can assure that we can have a confidence that we are on a verge of, we are in a way towards national food security and the rural prosperity. So NABARD always try to maintain a specific conditions in this direction. एक होता है ना कि एक पर्सन एक स्पेसिफिक इंस्टीट्यूशन है विच इज ट्राइंग टू मेंटेन अ गुड रिलेशन विद दिस वन एंड दिस वन. NABARD इज लाइक दैट. वो रीजनल रूरल बैंक्स को भी वो सारी फाइनेंशियल हेल्प प्रोवाइड कर रहा है टाइम टाइम पे ताकि वो क्रेडिट दे सके रूरल एरियाज में जो रूरल पॉपुलेशन है. एंड सिमिलरली टेकिंग केयर ऑफ द नीड्स ऑफ द रूरल पार्ट, ठीक है, डायरेक्टली और इनडायरेक्टली. So recognizing that majority of cultivators which are small and the marginal farmers, NABARD emphasize timely and adequate institutional credit supply. We know that अभी हमने अपने static portion में and other sessions we discussed that most of the farmers are in our country, they comes under the category of region small and the marginalized farmers. They need loan facilities, they need the institutional credit facilities to buy the basic input whenever the growing season comes. ठीक है, if they will not be provided with the good growing facilities, so वो agriculture production आप जो expect कर रहे हो फार्मिंग और एग्रीकल्चर लैंड से अपना फूड सिक्योरिटी को बचाए रखने के लिए, इट विल नॉट बी पॉसिबल. तो आपको फार्मर्स को इनिशियल स्टेजेस पे सपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा by providing them institutional credit facilities, and NABARD is taking care of this with the help of the rural regional banks जो ग्रामीण बैंक है, प्राइमरी एग्रीकल्चर कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज हैं, district, central and cooperative societies है and state cooperative societies है with the help of all these. ठीक है? So for the fiscal year 2025, 28.7 lakh crore of agriculture credit was disbursed, exceeding the target of 27.5 lakh crore by 105%. ठीक है? Under this, there are different district level organizations, the credit banks are there to fulfill all these facilities. ठीक है? ये सभी credit facilities to provide to the farmers है. Okay? So here you can see ground level credit पे अगर हम बात करें तो at the ground level, regional rural banks are there, as I told you, cooperative banks are there, commercial banks are there, and they are supporting the farming communities. Okay, जो भी farming communities हैं उनको financial facilities provide क्योंकि NABARD directly involved नहीं है. NABARD इन banks को और financial institutions को finance कर रहा है, refinance कर रहा है और ये directly फिर farmers के साथ associated है. ठीक है? Long term and short term refinance support. So how the NABARD is providing the long term and the short term refinance support? You can see the data. Okay, and here you can see the achievements. 48 achievements for this long term finance and 105 achievement is for short term finances. Okay, so in total we are observing that these areas, the NABARD is playing a good role in providing the long term refinance support and the short term refinance support. Okay, now disbursement of short term refinance by agencies. So शॉर्ट टर्म जो आपका रिफाइनेंसेस हो रहा है, ओके, दैट इज बाय स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स. ओके, सो यू कैन सी इट इज बाय स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स, रीजनल जो आपके रूरल बैंक्स है थ्रू देम, or by small finance banks. Okay, so these are the agencies which are responsible for the disbursement of short-term refinances to the farmers and the rural communities. Similarly, disbursement and share of short-term refinances by regions. So different regions, as I told you, there are different regions and the different regions have different fund requirements. So similarly for the north region, northeast region, east region, central region, west, central and total region. So that's how the fund disbursement and distributions are occurring. Okay. Yeah. Now moving ahead, if we talk about the long-term finance. So long-term finances are disbursed by state cooperative banks, small finance banks, rural regional banks, and NABARD subsidiaries are also there. Okay, when we were talking about short term, so short term refinances are by these agencies, whereas long term refinances where the farmers are needing these funds or facilities for either मैकेनाइजेशन इम्प्लीमेंट्स के लिए या फिर फार्म लैंड्स के रेनोवेशन वर्क के लिए उनको चाहिए. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज अबाउट no initiatives in credit refinances in fiscal year 2025. So NABARD launched several special refinance schemes. So काफी स्कीम NABARD ने इस सेक्टर में लॉन्च किया है एंड डिजिटल इनिशिएटिव्स लिए हैं सो दैट दे विल NABARD can promote sustainable rural developments. ठीक है, digital initiatives will be there, refinance schemes will be there. तो sustainable rural developments रहेगी ना, that there is something which is always going on. ठीक है, one such refinance scheme is solar rooftop system in residential sector. ठीक है, concessional refinance under the automotive refinance facility which supports installation of solar rooftop system that is 2200 watt to 10 kilowatt in rural areas and small towns which promote the clean energy so that the farmers will have the clean energies. Okay, तो ये एक special refinance scheme है. Rural housing with solar rooftops. ठीक है. So what comes under this? So this scheme bundles rural home loans with rooftop solar systems offering a 0.5% interest rebate fund funded by rupees 200 crore कॉर्पस टू एनकरेज ये सोलर अडॉप्शन के लिए कि जितने भी रूरल हाउसिंग से दे विल स्टार्ट अडॉप्टिंग द सोलर और द क्लीन एनर्जी practices. Aspirational district. So under the aspirational district that provide concessional refinance to boost economic activities there, livelihood there and employments in district with low priority sector lending coverage which is focusing on socio-economic upliftment. Animal husbandry infrastructure development. So under this also concessional refinance are aligned with the government of India's Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund to fill ताकि infrastructure gap को fill किया जा सके and that can attract investment in this sector कि हाँ भाई animal husbandry के sector को भी there's a need to get a good boost. ठीक है. और digital platform एडवांसमेंट क्या रहा इस सेक्टर में मोर ट्रांसपेरेंसी एंड ग्रोथ एंड डेवलपमेंट को शो करने के लिए एंश्योर 2.0 एंड एग्रीकल्चर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फंड पोर्टल इंटीग्रेशंस. So upgraded Ensure 2.0 portal, it is integrated with Agriculture Infrastructure Fund portal. And what it do? It will enable seamless online claim processing आराम से होगा, subsidy disbursement आराम से होगा under Agriculture Marketing Infrastructure Scheme. तो ये डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म एडवांसमेंट हो गया. ठीक है. अदर क्रेडिट एक्सपेंशन इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स में आपका प्राइमरी एग्रीकल्चर कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज एज मल्टी सर्विस सेंटर्स. ठीक है. वर्ल्ड्स लार्जेस्ट ग्रेन स्टोरेज प्लान. तो दिस वी आर प्लानिंग. ठीक है कि वर्ल्ड का लार्जेस्ट ग्रेन स्टोरेज प्लान वी आर प्लानिंग दैट ऑफर्स कंसेशनल रिफाइनेंसेस टू प्रमोट इम्प्रूव ग्रेन स्टोरेज फैसिलिटीज रहेंगी. तो नेशनल जो फूड स्कैसिटी के इशू आ सकते हैं, we'll have all the grain facilities available to us so we can deal with all these issues. Micro food processing, so that is to support the micro food processing units aligned with the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. ठीक है. Financing under the Agriculture Infrastructure Fund, so concessional refinance extended to regional rural banks, जो आपके रीजनल कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स हैं, NABARD subsidiaries हैं for AIF eligible activities. And other than that, we have the WASH initiative. So what it do? जो आपकी water, sanitation and hygiene related activities हैं, which need to be taken care of in the rural and the semi-urban areas. So this will be related with that. Okay. Now this is all about it. And Kisan credit card facilities, we're aware about it. Basically, the farmers need the Kisan credit card so that easily loan amount can be dispersed to their accounts, or the farmers can use this loan amount to purchase basic inputs for their agriculture practices. Okay. Now moving ahead, improving credit delivery ecosystem efficiency. So NABARD also help in this कि भैया जो credit है, जो amount है, financial help that the NABARD is offering to the different sectors को जो segments को जो NABARD financial help offer कर रहा है, वो delivery should be also easy ना. ठीक है. अभी बहुत बड़ा पेपर वर्क है, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन है, तो फार्मर विल गेट अ फियर ऑफ कि इनको कोलेट्रल सबमिट करना है, दे नीड टू हैव अ लॉट ऑफ पेपर्स टू रीड, देन ओनली द लोन फैसिलिटीज विल बी प्रोवाइडेड प्रॉपर्ली. सो क्रेडिट डिलीवरी इकोसिस्टम एफिशिएंसी को भी इंप्रूव करने में NABARD प्लेज अ रोल. कोर बैंकिंग सॉल्यूशन इन जो आपके रीजनल बैंक्स हैं, रूरल बैंक्स हैं. सो 216 RCB adopted cloud based CBS platform with ongoing upgrades to industry standard versions, improving the operational efficiency. Similarly, centralized account aggregator platform. Okay, development of a central AA infrastructure for RCB and RRBs, which are approved by Reserve Bank of India, will promote secure, cost-efficient data sharing and financial inclusions. ठीक है. Shared Aadhaar data vault. Bharat Aadhaar Seeding Enabler platform is there, which is for implementation is 200 RCB to facilitate online Aadhaar data seeding for direct benefit transfers in collaboration with UIDAI. ठीक है. Next is digital technology development. Like now we have EKCC portal, ठीक है, which has digitized the Kisan credit card processes, integrating it with the land records, satellite imagery, credit bureaus, UIDAI for streamlined loan approvals. 12 banks onboarded with over 300 live cases. Okay. AIF, Agriculture Infrastructure Fund, interest subvention portal is there. National Rural Livelihood Mission, interest subvention portals are there. तो ये कुछ digital technology developments हैं. Okay. In this sector. Okay. Digitalizing agri value chain finances, which was initially piloted in Bihar, Karnataka and Maharashtra. And under this, it disbursed rupees 5.1 crore loans for input provisions, crop production and procurement. Technology facilitation funds are there. Okay. Cyber insurance for RCBs, right? So these are the developments. Now deepening financial inclusions. So firstly, we talk about that NABARD have a very transparent policy of refinancing these फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस, ठीक है, तो ताकि एग्रीकल्चर एंड रूरल डेवलपमेंट्स के लिए फाइनेंस फैसिलिटीज प्रोवाइड किया जा सके। उसके बाद NABARD हैव अ ग्रेट रोल इन मॉनिटरिंग इट ऑल्सो कि how the facilities are provided, are they going to the person or the intended beneficiaries or not. Another is deepening the financial inclusions. Okay, so how the NABARD is helping in deepening the financial inclusions. So financial NABARD renewed financial inclusions strategy target regional disparities and equitable access to formal financial services, prioritizing spatial focus districts such as aspirational districts, left-wing extremism, affected, credit deficient, hilly states, and Northeast and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. ठीक है, मेन फोकस NABARD का इन सभी एरियाज में जहाँ पे फाइनेंशियल फैसिलिटीज they are at very low level initially. Okay, abhi bhi. So financial inclusion fund, what it do? So it will help in supporting the infrastructure creation, digital enablement, policy advocacy and literacy initiatives. Okay, financial literacy and capacity building. Okay, so NABARD financial and digital literacy में भी हेल्प करता है, कैंप्स लगा के ट्रेन करके। अब देखो मेरे पास फॉर एग्जांपल आई हैव गुड एंड्रॉइड फोन या फिर आईफोन है, बट आई एम नॉट अवेयर अबाउट कि उसको यूज कैसे करना है, उसके अंदर क्या एडवांटेज है। सपोज वी आर हैविंग द एआई टूल्स अवेलेबल टू अस, एवरीवन नो दिस एआई टूल्स एंड डेली बेसिस पे कुछ ना कुछ नया ट्रेंड चलता रहता है। ठीक है, अब आई एम अवेयर अबाउट दिस टूल और अवेयर अबाउट दिस ट्रेंड, बट आई एम नॉट अवेयर हाउ टू इम्प्लीमेंट इट। इज इट विल बी ऑफ बेनिफिशियल टू मी? नहीं ना। तो वैसे ही NABARD जब भी फाइनेंशियल फैसिलिटीज प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं तो देयर इज अ नीड टू हैव द फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी सो दैट एवरीवन कैन टेक द बेनिफिट ऑफ इट। ठीक है, तो उसके लिए कैंप्स नीडेड है, ट्रेनिंग नीडेड है, रीइंबर्समेंट ऑफ एग्जामिनेशन फीस फॉर बैंकिंग कोरस्पॉन्डेंट्स, डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन वैन्स चाहिए, कियोस्क एंड स्ट्रीट प्लेस चाहिए, नुक्कड़ नाटक चाहिए, ताकि सभी फैसिलिटीज के बारे में ऑल द पीपल्स विल गेट अवेयर अबाउट। ठीक है, जो भी आपके अनबैंक्ड एंड अनडिजर्व्ड रूरल पॉपुलेशन है भाई, उनको पता ही नहीं है कि कियोस्क ये स्पेसिफिक फैसिलिटीज होती क्या है, तो देयर इज अ नीड टू गेट देम अवेयर अबाउट इट ना। डिजिटल लिटरेसी, देयर इज अ नीड ऑफ हैविंग द डिजिटल लिटरेसी और द फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी। ठीक है, वी आर रिलीजिंग ऑल दिस। हाँ, कितने चैप्टर्स हो गए? वी आर ऑन द 6th चैप्टर, वी आर अबाउट टू कवर लाइक लास्ट के जो चैप्टर्स है दे आर मोर डेटा बेस्ड चैप्टर्स, इनमें ज्यादा एक्सप्लेनेशंस नीडेड है। ठीक है, इन चैप्टर्स में ज्यादा एक्सप्लेनेशन नीडेड, दैट्स व्हाई दे आर टेकिंग मोर टाइम। ओके, सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट इट। क्लियर हो गया? टेक्नोलॉजी एडॉप्शन एंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर सपोर्ट। ठीक है, सो efforts, NABARD is also taking effort like onboarding banks to digital platforms. अब फॉर एग्जाम्पल मेरे को आप कोई काम अलॉट कर दो एंड यू विल से कि, और आई से हाँ हो जाएगा, एंड आई एम नॉट टेकिंग केयर ऑफ इट, आई एम नॉट डूइंग दैट वर्क एंड यू आर नॉट आस्किंग मी, यू आर नॉट डूइंग एन एफर्ट टू क्रॉस चेक इट यू आर डूइंग इट और नॉट। सो व्हाट विल हैपन, आपके एंड से आपने इंस्ट्रक्शन दे दिया, मेरे एंड पे मैंने अप्रूवल दे दिया, बट आई एम नॉट वर्किंग इन द सेम डायरेक्शन। ठीक है, यू विल थिंक आई एम डूइंग द माई पार्ट, और जो पर्सन है उसको तो नॉलेज ही नहीं है जिसके लिए सारी फैसिलिटीज प्रोवाइड करने का प्लान किया NABARD ने। सो NABARD इज सुपरवाइजिंग और सब मॉनिटरिंग एफर्ट भी कर रहा है कि यू आर डूइंग योर वर्क ऑन द टाइम बेसिस और नॉट। सो एफर्ट्स इंक्लूड onboarding banks to digital platforms, deploying micro ATMs there, ठीक है, POS devices there, introducing dual authentications at correspondent points and improving connectivity and power infrastructures there. Okay, so all these are the facilities here. Yes, A5341, let me tell you one thing. देखो जैसे कि आपने बताया, yeah, thank you for telling this cooperative development fund RIDF. तो RIDF फंड बेसिकली क्या स्पेसिफिक, मैं अभी क्वेश्चन कर रहा हूँ ये प्रीवियस ईयर के, और कुछ प्रीवियस ईयर में आई थिंक मैंने कुछ ऐसा क्वेश्चन कराया भी, बट आई एम नॉट गेटिंग इट नाउ एक्चुअली। ठीक है, इफ यू हैव द डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन अवेलेबल टू, प्लीज लेट मी नो द एग्जैक्ट क्वेश्चन। ओके, यू कैन शेयर इट ऑन माई टेलीग्राम, दैट इज वर्षा धीमान। मैं एक बार एग्जैक्ट क्वेश्चन रीड कर लूंगी। ठीक है, दैट्स व्हाई वी आर रीडिंग इट। NABARD किस फंड को मैनेज कर रहा है, ठीक है, और किस फंड को एडमिनिस्टर कर रहा है, और कौन सा फंड है जो डायरेक्टली NABARD से ही आपका इशू हो रहा है, ये सभी पॉइंट, इसलिए हम इन चैप्टर्स को बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान से पढ़ रहे हैं। ठीक है, तो एक बार अपना एग्जैक्ट क्वेश्चन प्लीज लेट मी नो, और वैसे मैं इसका भी स्क्रीनशॉट ले लेती हूँ, फिर मैं आपको बता दूंगी कैसे क्वेश्चन कैन बी आस्क्ड फ्रॉम दिस पोर्शन। ठीक है, तो ये हो गया। फाइनेंशियल न्यू FIF एक्टिविटीज क्या रही है? बेसिकली लर्निंग मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम्स, ठीक है, और ऑटोमेशन ऑफ जन सुरक्षा स्कीम्स, राइट? सो डिजिटल ऑनबोर्डिंग ऑफ ऑल, जितने भी आपके 43, सी आई थिंक इन द थर्ड, और आई एम नॉट गेटिंग इट नाउ, वी हैव अ प्रोटोकॉल ऑफ वन district, वन स्टेट, आई एम नॉट गेटिंग इट, ठीक है। हमने सेकेंड और थर्ड चैप्टर में कुछ ऐसा पढ़ा था। सो जितने भी हमारे 43, नाउ दे आर रिड्यूस टू 28, देयर नंबर रिड्यूस टू 28, ठीक है। डिजिटल ऑन बोर्डिंग ऑफ ऑल 43 रूरल रीजनल बैंक्स टू द जन सुरक्षा पोर्टल, ठीक है, फॉर ऑल दीज स्कीम्स विद 26 रीजनल रूरल बैंक्स लाइव टू एनेबल एंड टू एंड एनरोलमेंट एंड क्लेम्स, ठीक है। Incentive schemes for CSP or BC in hilly areas, support for rural connectivity, special campaign that is 4.0 for rural financial illiteracy. So these are the initiatives taken by NABARD in this direction. तो ये कुछ specific initiatives है NABARD की direction में, ठीक है। So NABARD credit planning and delivery framework for financial inclusion integrates robust district level assessment with digital modernization and innovative refinance scheme. इन सपोर्ट, इसके अलावा शॉर्ट टर्म एंड लॉन्ग टर्म क्रेडिट नीड्स को भी सपोर्ट करता है NABARD, एंड इट एम्फसाइजिंग ऑन इक्विटी एंड सस्टेनेबिलिटी. डिजिटल टूल्स एंड प्लेटफॉर्म्स एनहांसेस, डिजिटल टूल्स एंड प्लेटफॉर्म्स रहेगा तो ऑपरेशनल एफिशिएंसी विल बी एनहांस्ड, ट्रांसपेरेंसी विल बी एनहांस्ड एंड कस्टमर सेंट्रिसिटी विल बी क्रिएटेड. Okay, and NABARD is also doing effort to improve the credit delivery ecosystem that include the upgrading banking technology, adopting centralized data platforms, and cyber resilience. Okay, so is it clear? Now moving on chapter number 7. So as a name suggests, and as we had already discussed so many times, NABARD have a role of supervision. What the different financial institutions are doing, what the work that is assigned to the different financial institutions, that is supervised by NABARD. Okay, so that is supervised by NABARD. So NABARD have a robust supervision of financial entities, and it is needed actually. If there is someone at the top level, apex body है तो वो एक apex institution है agriculture and rural finance के लिए, and if it is monitoring all the time और सब supervise कर रही है, so definitely all the operations at the middle and the lower levels will be performed with like more accuracy because there's someone which is supervising you all the time, है ना? So NABARD have a robust supervision of financial entities, okay, and that is important for maintaining. Okay, so that robust structure is very important for maintaining the institutional integrity, protecting the depositor interest, and ensuring a stable financial ecosystem. Okay, and NABARD is a key advisor also. It is assisting the non-compliant banks in adopting corrective measures to restore financial stability. And like whenever there is a instability occur, financial instability occur, or the things are not going in the financial terms well, then NABARD have a role. NABARD have a corrective measures to restore it. Okay, so NABARD have all these roles to play. Supervised entities of NABARD. So if we talk about supervised entities, क्या है NABARD की? So NABARD supervising the different rural financial institutions, primarily RRBs, regional rural banks and rural cooperative banks, which are basically main entities हैं जो सभी financial facilities provide कर रही है rural areas में. If we talk about the regulatory bodies, yeah, this can be a question. देखो, regional rural banks and rural cooperative banks, they are the supervised entities of NABARD, but they are regulated by Reserve Bank of India. Okay, they are regulated by Reserve Bank of India and they are supervised by NABARD under Section 35(6) of the Banking Regulation Act 1949 and the Banking Regulation Act as applicable to cooperative bank. Please note it down. लाइक ऐसे क्वेश्चन में सबसे ज्यादा कंफ्यूजन हो जाती है कि सुपरवाइजरी एंटाइटीज है NABARD की तो वही इनको रेगुलेट कर रहा होगा. नो, इट्स रेगुलेटेड बाय RBI, रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया. एंड if we talk about the scope of supervision, like how the NABARD is, how much the NABARD doing this supervision work. So what the NABARD do? Statutory inspections conduct करता है of state and district central cooperative banks and regional rural banks. Additionally, it is also the part of voluntary inspection are undertaken for state, cooperative, agriculture and rural development banks, apex waiver societies, marketing federation and other entities availing जो भी NABARD से refinances कर रहे हैं ना खुद को उनको भी ये voluntarily inspect कर सकते हैं. NABARD can inspect all these financial institutions. ठीक है. And if we talk about it, as per now 43 regional rural banks with 22,153 branches across 26 states and 3 union territories. Apart from that, 34 state cooperative banks, okay, 352 district central cooperative banks and 13 SARDBs. So approximately primary agriculture cooperative societies are 1.06 lakh, which are spread over 6.5 lakh villages. Okay, this is a data. Now, so yes, now looking at this portion, कि जो primary agriculture cooperative societies है, we had not mentioned about this before. Now we are mentioning about it. और जो primary cooperative agriculture and rural development banks है, they are not statutorily supervised. The cooperative credit structure varies across states, with some states having, अभी देखो कुछ states में 2-tier system है, कुछ states में 3-tier system है. Accordingly supervision होगा. ठीक है. And this SCARDBs are classified based on mode of lending, like unitary है, federal है, and mixed है. ठीक है. And this regional rural banks are sponsored by, इनको कौन sponsor करता है? जो 12th schedule commercial banks है. और yeah, this was the thing I was telling you in the last chapter. मतलब मैं तुम्हें पहले बता रही थी, but it is here. This is important. Aspirant, please mark it in your notebook. इसका screenshot भी ले लो. It is important. Even though I am providing you all the notes, ठीक है, ये पूरा आज मैं आपको सारे chapters के ना notes provide कर दूंगी. One PDF I had already shared of the first 4 chapters, and today I'll share the PDF of the next remaining chapters. ये जो key highlights है. So as on 1st May 2025, it was decided that one state, one regional rural bank. Okay, one state, one regional rural bank. So under this, initially there was 43. अब ये आपकी consolidated from 43 to 28. ठीक है, this is important. इसको mark कर लो अपनी notebook में. How many regional rural banks we are having now? As of 1st May 2025, we are having 28. Okay, ये number देखना है आपको अच्छे से. That's why all the chapters of this report are important. Okay, and you can see here 43 RRBs, 23 SCTBs और आपके 13 SCARDBs कैसे work कर रहे हैं. So all these informations are here for you. Okay, so you can go through all these informations and the things will be clear in your mind, right? Now moving ahead, we have the major developments in the supervisory ecosystem during fiscal year 2025. So here you can see, yeah, fiscal year 2025 marks significant progress in NABARD. तो NABARD का जो supervisory role है ना, अभी काफी developments we had observed. Okay, aimed at enhancing the resilience and stability जो अभी आपके supervised entities है. What are the supervised entities? RCB and RRBs. Okay, which are regulated by RBI and supervised by NABARD. Okay, that we had discussed now. Enhanced Camellus based supervisory approach. So introduction of e-Camellus model. So NABARD implemented the enhanced capital adequacy, asset quality, management quality, earnings, liquidity system, and controls and compliance rating model from 1st April 2023. And what is this model basically? ये एक step है towards a comprehensive risk-based supervision system, which is integrating qualitative and quantitative indicators. देखो भाई, calculative, देखो risk जो हो रहा है उसके according there is a need to take calculative steps. ठीक है, तो this system is working in this direction. ये जो model है interim step है towards a comprehensive risk-based supervision system, and that is integrating the qualitative indicators as well as the quantitative indicators. Now, with the time, अगर अभी आज एक मॉडल में लॉन्च करूँ एक स्पेसिफिक वर्क को बड़ा फ्रूटफुली और बड़ा ट्रांसपेरेंट वे में करने के लिए, इट्स नॉट ऑलवेज दैट आई विल बी द टॉप मोस्ट, आई विल बी एट द टॉप मोस्ट इन माई वन को. क्या होता है, देयर इज अ नीड ऑफ रेनोवेशंस, हम उसके अंदर कुछ ना कुछ चीजें ऐड ऑन, कुछ चीजें डिलीट करते रहते हैं विद द टाइम, जैसे जैसे हमें अपग्रेड करना होता है. तो सिमिलरली with in this system there was a need of some refinements. Okay, now e-camelis rating parameters were revised to align with contemporary legal, regulatory and supervisory guidelines reflecting increased, ताकि बैंकिंग कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी एंड स्केल, जो इंक्रीज्ड बैंकिंग कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी एंड स्केल है उसके साथ ये अच्छे से टाई अप कर सके. And the model evaluated banks based on their financial position as of 31st March 2025. Review of stress testing guidelines. ठीक है, स्ट्रेस टेस्टिंग गाइडलाइंस को भी रिव्यू किया गया. ठीक है, so updated framework allows banks to simulate realistic stress scenarios, assessing portfolio vulnerabilities and strengthening the resilience. ठीक है, तो updated framework will help in all this. Risk management guidance. अभी देखो ऐसा नहीं है that all the financial institutions they are always in a better positions. ठीक है, ऐसा भी होता है that liquidity that they are holding is not enough, जितना डिमांड आ रहा है मार्केट में उस हिसाब से नहीं है. तो इसके लिए ऐसे सिचुएशंस में, ठीक है, रिस्क मैनेजमेंट गाइडलाइंस आर इशूड बाय NABARD टू डील विद द सिचुएशंस. तो NABARD issued detailed guidelines, notes encouraging the supervisory entities to implement sound risk management system focusing on operational risk, credit risk, business continuity, capital management and liquidity risk. So updated liquidity risk management guidance were released during, तो ये आपका fiscal 2025 में release की गई. Capacity building, targeted training programs were conducted for inspecting officers and supervisory entity staff to deepen understanding and effective application, ताकि वो effectively इस framework को apply कर सके. देखो, for example, I am not having enough resources at my home at a time and there is a certain emergency occur. Okay, so at that time I'll not be in a condition to tell everyone so loudly that these are the situations I am facing now. I have to deal with all the things very calmly at this time. So NABARD is providing the training to the different financial institutions in this direction so that the situations will be handled calmly. ठीक है, जो भी stress conditions है, risk management guidelines है, they are also released by NABARD. Okay, so that to deal with all the situations efficiently. Digitalization of inspection process through super soft application. अभी super soft application क्या है? ठीक है, so अभी क्या था on 12th of July, ठीक है, we discussed about it in our weekly current affairs sessions as well, कि अभी 2025 की मैं बात करूं तो अभी भी हमारा 12th of July को NABARD फाउंडेशन डे था. So on the 41st जो NABARD फाउंडेशन डे था, this time it was a 44th. तो NABARD ने क्या लॉन्च किया, एक सुपर सॉफ्ट डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म लॉन्च किया था. एंड व्हाट वाज द मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ दिस प्लेटफॉर्म? टू स्ट्रीमलाइन द स्टैट्यूटरी इंस्पेक्शंस. ठीक है, अब इसी का 2.0 upgraded version enhancement हुआ in the fiscal 2025. That's why it is in news. Okay, branch inspection module for RRBs enabling team collaborations. Inspection report scrutiny and grading module for on platform evaluation. ठीक है, and similarly IT or information security examination module for NABARD's cyber security and IT examination cell. Integration हुआ इसका with Ensure via APIs for seamless, ताकि seamlessly data transfer हो जाए. ठीक है, management information system was there. Notifications module ensure करने के लिए timely task completion through email alerts. ठीक है, मूवमेंट रजिस्टर मॉड्यूल. सी आप लोग अभी भी देख रहे होंगे, फॉर एग्जांपल बहुत सारी आपके जो बैंकिंग फैसिलिटीज हैं, आई एम नॉट हैप्पी विद द लाइक ऑनलाइन डिजिटलाइजेशन थिंग्स ऑफ SBI बैंक प्राइमरली, बट अदर बैंक्स ने बहुत ज्यादा अपडेटेड चीजें कर दी है. दिस इज टू notify their valuable customers about all the practices that they are working upon, है ना. So NABARD is having a great role to enhance the facilities at the rural part specifically. जो आपके rural regional banks है, rural cooperative banks है, तो NABARD is supervising all these things. कैसे सभी चीजों में guidance होना चाहिए, stress कैसे कम हो, risk, stress and risk issues को कैसे manage हो, तो NABARD is having a great role to play there. Okay, this is a financial action task force mutual evaluation report. तो financial action task force ने अपना म्यूचुअल इवैल्यूएशन रिपोर्ट रिलीज किया विच रिकॉग्नाइज इंडियाज हाई टेक्निकल कंप्लायंस विद मेजर्स against money laundering and terrorist funding. ठीक है, India was placed under the regular fall-off category, the highest rating tier alongside the UK, France, and Italy. And NABARD's role includes strengthening understanding of money laundering and terrorist funding risk and enhancing supervisory capacity through training and collaboration with bodies like RBI. So NABARD collaborated with the bodies like RBI, and NABARD is playing a very crucial role in this. And now India is in the category of highest rating tiers alongside the UK, France, and Italy, because NABARD, these reports are evaluating and they are mentioning all the important points. Way forward in this direction. So ये कुछ several priorities हैं that enhances the supervisory process in the coming period. ठीक है? And we discussed about them here. Now we have on the chapter number 8. ठीक है, empowering the rural financial institutions. So in the last chapter we talk about supervisory role. ठीक है, अब एक चीज बताओ, for example, जब भी कोई न्यू पोजीशंस पे रिक्रूटमेंट होता है, फॉर एग्जांपल व्हेन यू विल बी अपॉइंटेड एज अ असिस्टेंट मैनेजर ग्रेड ए ऑफिसर के एज एन ग्रेड ए ऑफिसर आप अपॉइंट हो जाओगे, तो ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट डे यू विल बी एम्पावर्ड. No, na, you have to undergo a training period. Okay, after undergoing the training period, your seniors will guide you, क्योंकि NABARD में your main role will be with the implementation. ये जो भी policies and paperwork है, उनका implementation कैसा होना चाहिए, that will help in the rural development of the country and the agricultural development as well. ठीक है, so initially you will be supervised. And after getting the proper supervision, when it will be realized that you guys are now capable of doing your all the work well, like 1 year के training के बाद, 1 year के probation period के बाद, then you will be finally launched in the market. I mean, finally you will be appointed as a grade A officer. You will have all your roles to play. So similarly, पहले तो NABARD have a role to supervise the financial institutions. उनको supervise करा. Now NABARD is playing a role in empowering the rural financial institutions. So when it will be realized that this is your potential and now it's a time to work as per your potential. Okay, so NABARD have these role to play. Firstly, supervising the financial institutions and then empowering. Okay, so that's why I like this report a lot. Like all the chapters are in a sequence. हर एक role को हर एक chapter के अंदर बहुत सारी चीजों को बहुत ज्यादा डीपली एंड बहुत ज्यादा अच्छे तरीके से समझाया गया, एंड आई हैड कवर्ड मोस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स इन दिस मैनर ओनली. ठीक है, अभी जो आपका 9th and 10th चैप्टर है, दैट इज मोर डेटा ओरिएंटेड. जो डेटा ओरिएंटेड चैप्टर है, इफ यू विल रीड इट बाय योरसेल्फ, यू विल बी एबल टू डू दैट. दैट्स व्हाई आई एम प्रोवाइडिंग यू द नोट्स है. ठीक है, इवन दो आई एम कवरिंग हेयर इन मोर डिटेल, लेट मी टेल यू हेयर, उसके बाद हम आगे मूव करेंगे. मैंने ये सारे चैप्टर्स को बहुत ज्यादा डेप्थ में, ठीक है, बहुत ज्यादा डेप्थ में इन सभी चैप्टर्स को आपके एप्लीकेशन के क्लासेस में कवर किया है एस्पिरेंट्स. इफ यू आर देयर विद अस ऑन द एप्लीकेशन क्लासेस, तो आप वहां से यू कैन हैव द ऑल द इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफ दीज चैप्टर्स इन डिटेल. ठीक है, एंड हेयर ऑल्सो आई एम कवरिंग. लेकिन ज्यादातर पता है क्या होता है, आप लोग ज्यादातर स्टूडेंट्स आर नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन लिसनिंग दिस लेंथी लेक्चर्स, इसलिए इनको मैंने बहुत कट शॉर्ट करके आपको अभी समझाया है. ठीक है, now moving ahead, empowering the rural financing institutions. What are the main rural financing institutions we're talking about? One is a rural cooperative banks and regional rural banks. They are the supervisory entities of the NABARD, and as well as they are the rural financial institutions. They are vital in providing, यही financial services provide कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, क्योंकि ग्राउंड लेवल पे तो यही डील कर रहे हैं ना. इनको जब NABARD रिफाइनेंस कर देता है, इनके पास हमेशा स्टॉक में अच्छा फंड रखता है, ताकि फार्मर्स के साथ इनको डायरेक्टली डील करना है, तो these banks have all the credit available to them so that they can support the farmers. Okay, ये farmer directly इनको डील कर रहा है. For example, at our home also, when we have some issues, we directly go to the person who is our immediate point of contact. जो हमारा immediate point of contact रहता है, हम उसके पास जाते हैं, है ना. For example, there is a reporting manager. आपको कोई इशू है तो आप अपने reporting manager को बताओगे, आपका reporting manager will go higher. There is an hierarchy. So similarly, this rural financing institution, they are the first point of contact of the rural populations, and then how the things work. Okay, so is this clear? Give me a thumbs up that all the things are clear to your mind now. Are you getting all the points? So with extensive network, this rural financial institutions expand the institutional credit access, promote the banking habits, and serve poor and remote populations. ठीक है, अभी poor population and remote populations को there's a need to tell them about all the things in their manner ना. अभी जो आप अपॉइंट होगे एज अ NABARD Grade A ऑफिसर, you will not have a direct customer relations at any time. आपका कोई डायरेक्ट कस्टमर्स के साथ कनेक्शन नहीं रहेगा, ठीक है. जो यहाँ पे रीजनल रूरल बैंक्स में अपॉइंटेड होंगे, दे हैव अ डायरेक्ट पॉइंट ऑफ कॉन्टेक्ट विद द रूरल पॉपुलेशंस, ठीक है. दे हैव टू टेल देम अबाउट की बैंकिंग हैबिट्स क्या है and serve the poor and the remote populations in this direction. Okay, so NABARD leads institutional development initiatives to strengthen. तो ये NABARD वो सभी institutional development initiative लेता है ताकि these banks will be strengthened. Efforts focus on improving the governance system and building the strong institutional culture. Upgradation of technology, business diversification, and human resource development are emphasized. Okay, and these initiatives collectively improve कि ग्रास रूट पे क्रेडिट डिलीवरी बड़ा स्मूथली हो जाए. कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस जो है रीजनल फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस का अगेंस्ट अदर फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन, दैट विल बी एनहांस्ड. ओके, नाउ शॉर्ट टर्म, नाउ इफ यू टॉक अबाउट द शॉर्ट टर्म cooperative credit structures, they form a critical part of rural finance. इसमें there are 3 tiers of institutions. One are the state cooperative, इसमें आपका state cooperative banks है, डिस्ट्रिक्ट सेंट्रल कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स है, और प्राइमरी एग्रीकल्चर कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज एट डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल. एंड इन सम स्टेट्स वेरिएशन एग्जिस्ट जिसमें 2 tier और मिक्स्ड टियर स्ट्रक्चर होता है, तो वहां पे देयर विल बी द डिफरेंट वेरिएशंस, ठीक है. एंड या अंडर दिस, लुक एट दिस, जो स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स है और डिस्ट्रिक्ट सेंट्रल कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स है, दे आर रेगुलेटेड बाय under the RBI via the Banking Regulation Act 1979, whereas primary agriculture cooperative societies operate outside this framework and cannot use banking related. तो nomenclature जो भी terminologies होती है ना प्राइमरी एग्रीकल्चर कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी में, वो बैंकिंग रिलेटेड टर्मिनोलॉजीज नहीं होते. दे आर हैविंग द डिफरेंट पैटर्न ऑफ वर्किंग, ठीक है. And the performance of state cooperative banks in fiscal 2024 over fiscal 2023, you can see like how they are working. Okay, in the reserve portion, in the reserve categories, deposit category, borrowings, investment, and the loans outstanding. Okay, so how they are working. Similarly, this is the performance of district central cooperative banks in the last few years, like how in the different categories they are showing their role. Okay, if you talk about the long-term cooperative credit institutions, what they do, they operate primarily ये 2-tier सिस्टम के थ्रू ऑपरेट करते हैं. एक तो होता है स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव, देखो 3-tier सिस्टम में है स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स, district central cooperative banks, and primary agriculture cooperative societies. When we talk about two-tier cooperative system, इनमें first रहता है आपका state cooperative agriculture and rural development banks, and the second one is a primary cooperative agriculture and rural development bank. This should be in your mind. इन दोनों का structure है that is different, ठीक है. Okay, is it clear? Now, important developments in the short-term credit cooperative credit structures. So one is the formation and the strengthening of new multi-purpose primary cooperative. So Union Cabinet has approved a 5-year plan beginning in 2023 to revitalize the cooperative movements by establishing. So under this, 2 lakh new multi-purpose primary cooperatives were established. Under this, we have the dairy societies and the fishery societies. And as of fiscal 2025, over 18,400 new cooperatives have been formed, marking significant progress towards nationwide कि cooperative areas are covered under this. ठीक है. Now, cooperative governance index for regional rural cooperative banks. So under this, to promote robust governance हो, institutional culture अच्छा रहे, so NABARD is developing a web-based cooperative governance index portal assessing 132 parameters across 11 categories to quantify governance quality on a scale of 0 to 100. And what this tool will help, देखो index होता है ना, अभी आपका happiness index है, hunger index है, this index help us to know कि where we are lying. So similarly, to know about the governance, how these cooperative banks are governing, how the rural financial institutions are working. Okay, so quantify their measurements, to quantify their work, these, and to know about, like everyone will be aware about the things ना कि transparency रहेगा system में, accountability रहेगा. So that's why these indexes are created. Okay, so what I'm thinking of, I'm ending this session here. Okay, I'm ending this session here for today. And I'm providing you all the notes of all the remaining chapters as well. You can go through the chapters. We will have our current affair sessions tomorrow at 6 p.m. जिसमें हम weekly current affair करते हैं. And on Saturday also we are having a session where we will do a monthly compilation of the August month. Okay, and on Sunday we will have our 20 MCQ weekly. ठीक है, तो अभी next 3 days आपका NABARD के sessions है, planned sessions है. So make sure you guys are attending all the session. If you will find any doubt, anything related to this report, you can ask in that particular sessions as well. Okay, so here I am ending a session for today. We'll meet in the next class. Okay, bye bye.